Hey honey buns, today we are talking about the biggest struggle for black people traveling in Thailand versus Vietnam. If you guys are interested, keep watching. Hey honey buns, welcome back. I'm the Courtney Williams. If you're new here, my channel is meant to document my journey as a makeup artist and a traveler and that whole process, as well as, just to inspire you to take your own leaps of faith and figure out how to work out your own journey, okay, and get it done. So today I thought it would be super dope to share just 5 things that I feel like can be a big struggle for black travelers, Vietnam versus Thailand, when you first get to these places. Because for anybody who is outside of what their home country is, it's gonna be a culture shock. Like, it's definitely gonna be some things that you're not used to. And then as a black person, I mean, it's just a whole nother playing field of just some other things that tend to happen. So let's jump on in with number 1, which, granted, this is probably something that's most heard of, which is just the touching and unwanted pictures. Now in Thailand, I think it's a little bit more chilled because yes, the Thai ladies and the Thai people, they'll stare at you. Yes, they'll stare at you for sure. But Thai people seem to be a little bit more reserved when it comes to displaying emotions. So you won't really have as many occasions where the Thai people will be trying to take pictures of you. Like, they'll stand there and they'll stare for sure. And you can still kind of, have your personal space. Now, granted, if you're in a more popular area of Thailand, like Bangkok, it's like you got to deal with the Thai, wanting to touch you and things, but also like other foreigners, like when Chinese people come there, or just, But overall, I found like in Thailand, I can still have my personal space and I don't really get touched too much, but they'll stare for sure. They'll stare for sure. Sometimes they'll have the courage to come and say, oh, can I take a picture or whatever. But I think they have more of a fear of like being embarrassed in public, because they really aren't as vulnerable or put themselves out there as much when it comes to like emotional things. Whereas like Vietnam, girl, Vietnam has no chill. When I tell you Vietnam has no chill when it comes to touching, taking pictures, like they will take pictures of you whether they have asked, whether they have permission, even if they didn't ask and you say no, I don't want, they will still try to take your picture if they're really like gun-ho about it. And even like touching, girl, I'm talking about everybody from the baby to the oldest people in the Vietnamese community, like the old women. I have been, just on the street of Hanoi, and like, it's this bakery on Doi Can. It's amazing, my favorite bakery here. And girl, old ladies will walk by and just grab my hair. Young girls, they'll touch you, they'll grab you. I mean, it is definitely it's definitely different. It's definitely different. So I would say for sure in Vietnam it's definitely more intense, especially with like them entering into your personal space and not really caring if you say no, and really having to, figure out what's gonna be the best way for you to deal with that. Versus like Thailand, they'll stare, but you'll still be able to do your thing and not really have too much like interaction as far as people touching you, like they're normally not that bold, So the second thing that I would say is a big struggle for the black traveler is black interaction. Like being able to see people that look like you. So granted, off bat, it's like not a lot of black people that travel, like in comparison to European cultures, in in comparison to Caucasian people in America, you know, just in comparison. It's not a lot of us who travel. Like, I think a lot of African people travel a lot more than like Black Americans travel. And I don't really think that that's more so of a Black American thing, because I really think like America as a whole doesn't really travel as much, because we have so many states in America that people travel to more frequently. But I think when you're just looking at people's skin tone, it just looks like a huge disparity, because, you know, it's more, you know, light people and white people traveling more frequently than it is Black people. So it's like getting used to being in places and not really seeing people that look like you. Like right now, I'm definitely having Black people withdrawal. Like, I'm definitely over here like, so it's no Black people coming here? Like, none? Like, y'all don't want to come? Like, seriously. And I think the difference though is in Thailand, if you're in like the bigger cities, you'll see more people. Like, you might have more of an opportunity to see more Black people in Bangkok, but I still felt like it was kind of slim, or I was kind of like I had to get connected to a circle of people first to really discover the other Black people. Or like when I was in the smaller town like Ubon Ratchathani, which is more so I feel like frequent, is that you'll have like, you gotta kind of get prepared to be like either the only Black person in that town, or either have like only one or two other Black people, you know? And that's kind of like what happened to me in Ubon, where when I first got there, I thought it was just me and this one Black guy teacher who worked at my school. But y'all, as much as I tried to befriend him, he just was like not fooling with me. He was like, no. But then, you know, I had this Black chick reach out to me through like, I think she had saw me on a Facebook group, and she was like, girl, we need to be friends. And from that point, we just clicked, we bonded, and we like linked up a lot of other times after. Like, I still talk to her even though she's now back in Chicago. So I feel like in Thailand, I had more of an engaged interaction once I actually saw the Black people. Like, Thailand, it's like you might not see them as much, but when you see them, you definitely feel that unity. You definitely, most of the time, are able to connect with them. Whereas like, we roll over here to Vietnam, is way less Black people here. Like, if you think about just Hanoi versus Bangkok, the size of those places are so different. The size of Vietnam versus the size of Thailand is completely different. It's bigger, you know, whereas Vietnam is a bit smaller, Hanoi is a bit smaller. So I want to say it's a good handful of us Black folk here. And I think the other weird thing about Vietnam that kind of bothers me sometimes is like, it's like almost like sometimes the Black people don't want to connect with other Black people, and it's the weirdest thing. And I actually wanted to do a video about it because it really bothers my spirit. Like, if I see you in Hanoi and you Black and we make eye contact and you try to look away, girl, we gonna fight. Girl, like, that is unacceptable. Like, girl, like, no ma'am. So that has been a struggle for me, because I will look at you. Like, I feel like if I am in a place and I see a Black person, like, even if I don't have enough time to stop and talk and really exchange deets or whatever, like, I'm definitely, hey, you know, definitely. So that's the difference. I feel like both places kind of lacks in the amount of Black people you will see, so you have to get used to that. But then also sometimes Thailand, you will have better engagement or engaging moments versus like Vietnam, where sometimes, you know, people will intentionally avoid that eye contact. So yes, number 3, a struggle for Black people is definitely sometimes the race in the job place. Like, you are in Asia, a lot of times, you know, these cultures have not experienced Black people, or so they want to claim. You know, if we go back in history and things, but whatever, that's neither here nor there. As of now, it's a lot of Asian people who have not seen a Black person or has preconceived notions of what they think a black person is, or what they think an American looks like, which you guys know how that was for me with my employer in Vietnam. So I feel like in Thailand there's racism within the school systems. I think sometimes it's just a little bit more discreet. I think this is really just the way that Thai people communicate, you know, like they just really don't show that much emotion, just based off of what I've seen. So it's a little bit more discreet. And yes, it will be some schools that won't hire you because you're black, but they won't tell you, of course, you know, like if you're hired on, I feel like you're treated with respect and nothing comes up, or at least for me, I never had any issue with race once I actually got the job. Like, you know, of course, there will be jobs that will overlook you just because you're black, you know, even if you're an American, you know, but once you actually get the job, I felt like I was in a pretty comfortable environment aside of, you know, the standard office politics. Whereas in Vietnam, the racism I feel like is a little bit more blatant. And I don't know if I necessarily sometimes want to call it racism, because I think it is. It's a little bit of race, it's a little class, it's a little ignorance, it's a little bit of a whole bunch of stuff that needs to be corrected. But I think in Vietnam, they're definitely a little bit more blatant. They're definitely a little bit more like in your face with it. Like I had to move whole centers because of it. Like I had at least 3 meetings outside of my working hours, unpaid, to discuss the racism, and because I didn't look like what a black American looked like. I didn't look like an American. I mean, and I think sometimes that bothers me because I'm like, yo, are you even an American? Have you even been to America? You don't even know what America looks like. So how can you tell me, the American holding passport, like, that I'm not? Like, girl, it's just a lot. So definitely be prepared for that as well. Number 4, I think a black struggle, number 4, is the lack of black entertainment. And when I say this, I mean, like, you know, when you want to just have a ratchet night, you know, you want to go to a place that plays good music like you like, whether that's, you know, hip-hop, R&B, a little African music, a little reggae, whatever, and just dance it out on the floor with your friends, kinda drunk or kinda messed up or whatever, you know, like just a good night. Those nights are kind of few and far in between, because it's like, you got to think about the fact that, one, it's not as many black people traveling as, you know, maybe other races. So, you know, in terms of tourism, you know, they're trying to obviously get people in who are traveling. And I think sometimes clubs, activities, things are created with the people who they believe are going to use them in mind. And because, you know, sometimes a lot of black people aren't in these places, sometimes it's not those type of black activities that you might normally enjoy, you know? So whereas like when I was in Thailand, if you go to Bangkok, yeah, girl, you will definitely be able to find some hip hop, R&B clubs. You'll definitely be able to get your ratchet fix in Bangkok. But when you go to like the smaller areas, like when I was living in Ubon Ratchathani, they had one club. Like they had more bars and more pubs and things, which is like, you know, that's where we go to pregame, but where we going after, you know? Ubon Ratchathani only had one club, and it was a Thai club. They didn't play any hip hop ever. It was more of like EDM and techno stuff and Thai music, you know? So it's like you kind of got to get prepared for that as well. Whereas like Vietnam, I want to say like in Ho Chi Minh you can find some good hip hop clubs, but like in Hanoi we have like places where they play hip hop. It's more of like a bar, and they play some music, some hip hop music. They'll throw a little 1-2 in there, but the whole scene isn't really meant for the Black audience. You know, it's meant for more of a diverse crowd. Or even like, you'll have clubs or it's bars here where you can go and you can play your own music, but come on, that's not even really the same as like being carefree on the dance floor with your girls and you just living for all the music that the DJ is playing and you're just getting your whole life. Like, it's definitely those moments. So yeah, I have those withdrawal moments. Like, even now I feel that build up happening. Y'all know, like, if you haven't had a twerk session in a long time and you just like waiting, you just waiting because you know that it's coming and the build up is real, that when it does happen, you know all life is going to be given. So definitely prepare for that. I mean, just prepare yourself to kind of be ready to engage in different environments and different activities that might be outside of what you're normally used to in terms of partying and other things. So last but not least, the beauty transition is sometimes a struggle. I'm not gonna even say sometimes. I think this is more so relevant for Black or female travelers, but I think sometimes even for male travelers, like in terms of being able to buy shoes, Thailand versus Vietnam, it's hard to buy shoes in big sizes. You know, a lot of Asian countries have smaller feet and it's hard to find shoes. You a lot of times have to order them. Thailand has a few Paylesses which carry bigger sizes, but that's again only in like some of the more popular cities like Bangkok. In Vietnam, they do have Hoi An where you can get shoes custom made, which I have done for good prices, but as a whole, it's hard to find shoes. It's hard to find clothes if you're a little bit more curvy. You know, for the Black person's curvy figure, is a bit hard, you know. And for women, in terms of like products, you really have a transition period of beauty, of trying to figure out, okay, how are you gonna do your hair, who's gonna do it, where you gonna get it done, what's your style, what's your routine, how you still gonna be cute and love yourself and love your skin and all that you're in, and still give the life that you want to give, even if you're out of the country. I mean, I feel like your look shouldn't struggle, but sometimes it's that transition of like, you know, realizing I'm not in America anymore and they don't carry the same products that I have there, Thailand or Vietnam, and how am I going to still maintain my cuteness but using different things or figuring out what it is. So be prepared for that transition as well, because it's real. All right, honey bun, so this is gonna be it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, do me a favor, leave a comment down below and let me know, out of all of the biggest struggles that I feel like Black people have abroad, which one shocked you the most, and which one do you feel like will be the hardest for you to adapt to, and why? Let me know down below. And as always, remember, people will stay and make it worth their while, and I will see you later. Bye.